Susan Gardner here from Municipal World. We're in beautiful Quebec City, and joining us in the Municipal World Media Center is Cynthia Goddard from Transitional Solutions. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Thank you. So I know you've done some interesting projects recently, and I was hoping that maybe you could talk to to us about one of them that you've done around fire services.
Yeah, so actually, while we're here launching the Political Acumen Toolkit with CAMA, at the same time, some of our TSI team was at the Alberta Fire Chiefs Association Conference in Red Deer, Alberta over the weekend, launching the Alberta Fire Service Core Competency Framework and Community Risk Assessment Tool. A big, long title, but I think it's going to be something that's really great for the Alberta Fire Service.
So what did that project look like? What kind of research were you taking into that?
It was about a 10-month process that started off with engagement with fire services throughout Alberta. So I think it's something like over 250 fire services were engaged as part of the project through surveys, both online, over the phone, and then we did a road tour interviewing fire services in person, just learning about the different challenges and opportunities that exist within the fire service in Alberta, specifically in the areas of training and resourcing.
Okay, so what were some of the interesting findings, and how did that feed into?
Yeah, so we learned a lot about the Alberta Fire Service through that process, and I think it came up with a really great product for the AFCA, which I can chat about shortly. But some of the major findings were around levels of service and a lack of clearly defined levels of service throughout the province. Also issues with recruitment and retention throughout the province. That's definitely something that we've seen as a challenge in lots of different fire services. And you know, really focusing on that, I think, is a priority for a lot of different groups, and so looking at ways to support that as well as training as well.
Okay, so you mentioned the levels of services and levels of service and inconsistencies around that. Sometimes, in what way does that play out as challenges for fire services?
Yeah, so so basically a level of service is your commitment to your community, the things that your fire service is able to provide to its residents all of the time. It doesn't mean your fire service is limited to doing those things, it's just the things that you commit to do all of the time. And having a clearly defined level of service in place really helps municipalities steer resources in terms of training resources and focusing their efforts on asset management in relation to fire service as well.
Okay, so what does the new toolkit look like?
Yeah, well, it's a really great product, I think. So basically, from the survey, we identified all the services being offered in Alberta by the various fire departments that we interviewed, and we linked those to legislation, regulations, and standards, you know, occupational health and safety, the NFPA standards, that sort of thing. And that's really what's formed the basis of the core competency framework. And from that, we've linked it to a community risk assessment tool. So this tool is an online tool where Alberta's fire services can go online, fill out a quick risk assessment profile, and then be provided with a customized recommendation on a level of service that's unique to their municipality and meets the needs of their municipality. And then that also links to a set standard of core competencies that can be trained to meet those levels of service. So this is really helping municipalities with, one, identifying their risks, and two, identifying what services they need to have in place to mitigate those risks. And then where it might not be reasonable for the municipality to, say, offer that service internally, they can start having a conversation about other ways that that risk can be mitigated. So I think it's going to be a really great tool, obviously customized to Alberta, but perhaps some learnings there for municipalities throughout Canada as well.
Fantastic. So it really kind of links up everything from the needs of the community perspective to the best practices and how those services all kind of connect.
Exactly, yeah. So trying to take some standards that can be applied at a broader level and really finding a way to make them applicable to every municipality in Alberta.
Which ones are right for your community, and how do you get the expertise, training in order to fulfill them and manage the risk.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Absolutely, and I think, even having a set of standard core competencies in place will assist with regional approaches to emergency management and can be applied in a lot of really great ways going forward.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So if folks are interested in learning more, checking out the toolkit, is it available online to take a look?
It is, yeah, it's in a beta stage, but you can learn more about what we did in Alberta at abfirechiefs.ca.
abfirechiefs.ca.
Yes.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. Thank you so much for coming and chatting with us.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I'm Susan Gardner from Municipal World with Cynthia Goddard from Transitional Solutions. We share your stories.